You're watching Talk Minute, and I'm your CJ. Welcome back to another album ranking, and today's album ranking will be of Decapitation. Finally, Decapitation. I've wanted to rank their albums for a very long time, never really got to, and never could really decide how to do it because you either consider the first two EPs or consider them studio records. I consider them EPs. So, Homivore and Human Jerky are not going to be on this. They're just going to be studio albums. There's 8 of them, and 8 perfect albums. So, yeah. It's a perfect discography. Haven't seen those in a while, so let's get into it. Number 8 is going to be Karma, Bloody Karma. Probably everybody's least favorite for these for the 8 studios. This is more of a grind variety. In my opinion, this is their worst album, but that doesn't mean it's bad by any means. It comes down to I don't prefer it. The album is utterly wild and all over the place, which is fine and pretty fun to listen to. Decapitation is a perfect discography in my opinion. Absolutely, this is a 10 out of 10. It's still fucking amazing. Best song here is Success is ... Hanging by the Neck, which is a human extinctionism song, which is basically about saying that humans need to go extinct. That's basically what that song is. But it's fun. It's a fun album. Very fun album. I don't think any Cattle Decapitation albums are going to be like really boring or really but yeah. Number 7 is To Serve Man from 2002. The disgusting and grimy debut album from Death Grind staple Cattle Decapitation. Along with the quality Death Grind, Cattle Decapitation brings on this one. The cover art is gripping, matching the album with intensity on both fronts. It's a really big shame that, yeah, they never played this. They never played the songs from this album, which is just, it's a shame because this album does deserve to have live coverage. I honestly love this album. The best song here is Rythan Putrescence, I think it is. I don't know how to say that. Probably butchered it. I don't give a shit. Yeah. And number 6 is the brand new one, Terrasite. 2023, the most recent album released by Cattle Decapitation. The only thing I would say about this placement is everything above it is better. That's basically why it's here. Like, if this was any other band, it would be probably number 1 or number 2. It's exactly what they've been doing since Monolith with Travis Ryan's the high pitched vocals, and with a little bit of more drawn out blasting, more blasting than normal, and it's not really focused on riffs. That's probably why I don't really put this album up with the 5 above it, because those 5 do that more riff based. This album is fun and goes along with the Next Extinction concept in an innovative way. Favorite song is We Eat Our Young. I did a full review on this album if you want to go check that out on my channel maybe 2 months ago. So yeah. Number 5 is Humanure, the 2004 album, and yeah, it's more mature and technical than To Serve Man, even though being called Humanure. Yeah, very immature of them to do that, but Cattle Decapitation still had a long way to go to the modern sound with being primarily death metal on this record. And yeah, this album is not as grindy as his later albums, and not as grindy as To Serve Man. This is probably their closest to pure death metal that they've ever did. And yeah, you know how I'm a big fan of death metal. I've ranked a lot of death metal. I've reviewed a lot of death metal, and yeah. Humanure is going to fall middle of the road for me, as there's other albums that outshine it. The songs like the title track, Lips and Assholes, Chummified, and Applied Human Defragment. This album is fucking amazing all the way through. It's a fucking amazing record. The best song in this album is Bukkake Tsunami. Pretty funny name for a song, but yeah, the song is fucking great. It's got that what you would want from Cattle Decapitation, early Cattle Decapitation. Number 4 is Monolith of Humanity from 2012, the first album with the modern sound and new concept. I should specify that this is not the first album with the modern sound, but the one that's the first one after the transitional piece. The new vocal style Travis Ryan performs on this album, mixed with the chunk blower vocals, make this a fun and gross listen. The concept, you ask, the end of life on Earth and the problems humans create, which is a metal concept if I've ever heard one. And yeah, truly a good and true concept to write an album about, because yeah, it's happening, and yeah. The speed of this album always amazes me. Truly a 42-minute masterpiece. My favorite song on Monolith is Life Stalker. It's an absolute banger. You should check that one out. Number 3 is Harvest Floor. I know a lot of people would have this one a little lower than this, but yeah, the first modern sounding Cattle Decapitation album. I say that as, yeah, being the sound transitional piece. This one must be a favorite, honestly. I like the transitional albums that basically blend the old style with the new style. Like, they're just going into the new style and they're just trying it out a little bit on an album. It's just so good to hear that. With nasty interlude sounds and the chunk blower vocals of Travis Ryan, this album rips through 37 minutes with sheer disgusting brutality. Songs to mention are Into the Public Bath, Tooth, Enamel, and Concrete, and We Are Horrible People being some of the best on the album. And yeah, my favorite song has to be Body Farm. It's just, yeah, I'd love to hear this album played live, but yeah, they don't play anything from their first 4 albums live, which is quite, in my opinion, that's unexcusable, because the first 4 albums are been amazing. Number 2 is Death Atlas from 2019. One of the best albums to come out of that year. I remember when this one came out and the hype it got with the singles. The hype for the singles was well deserved as one of the best Cattle Decapitation albums. Continuing the next extinction theme and even predicting a worldwide pandemic. You know what song that is. Bring Back the Plague. It was released in 2019, and then COVID broke out in 2020. Coincidence? I don't know. I don't know if that would be a coincidence or not. This album is phenomenal, a masterpiece, for better words. The best song here is the whole album, honestly. It's one of those albums that you just gotta listen to in full. Like, Be Still Our Bleeding Hearts, the Geocide, One Day Closer to the End of the World. There's just some absolute bangers on this album, and they play a lot of that stuff live. Never seen them live when they've had this album out. But number 1 is the album I actually seen them like supporting for like 2 years, when they supported this album for like 2 years, which is the Anthropocene Extinction from 2016. The best album in the Cattle Decapitation discography by far. And one of my favorite albums ever released. It's definitely on that like pinnacle of like Serpents of the Light and Ride the Lightning, those types of pinnacles. This album would be there, like it would be up there with those. It has everything I like from Cattle Decapitation. The vocals are the best of his career, the chunk blower vocals. The instrumentation is at 100. The guitar tone is fucking amazing, and the theme of the next extinction, which isn't far away. Yeah, this is the album that basically is like, this is the extinction. And what the hell the problem is, and what we need to do to fix it type deal. This was the newest album out when I first discovered Cattle Decapitation, but maybe it's nostalgia, whatever it is. I consider this one of my favorite albums of all time in metal. The best song here is the whole fucking record, of course. The last album was the whole album. This album is the whole album. Yeah, some of the best songs on here: Manufactured Extinct, The Prophets of Loss, Plague-Born, Clandestine Ways, Crocodile Rot. You could basically read this whole album off. Just, it's It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect from front to back. There's not a single like downside, down part. It's just straightforward Cal Decapitation. So that's how I would rank Cal Decapitation. Hope everybody is having a great day, and see everyone in the next video, whenever that will be.